Emma of Waldeck and Pyrmont, a significant and vibrant figure in European monarchy history, became a symbol of female strength, nobility, and dedication to her duties. She was not merely an aristocrat, but also a pivotal figure who influenced the course of Dutch history. Born on August 2, 1858, into a princely family in Waldeck, she was surrounded from an early age by an atmosphere of grandeur and responsibility. Her father was Prince George Victor of Waldeck and Pyrmont, and her mother was Princess Helena Wilhelmina of Nassau. This environment, filled with political intrigue and lofty ideals, shaped Emma into a woman of strong character and keen intellect. In 1879, at the age of 21, she married King William III of the Netherlands. What seemed to be a marriage of convenience evolved into a union that transformed the Dutch monarchy. William III was a man of complex character, and there was an age gap of over 40 years between them. Nevertheless, Emma, with her innate tact and wisdom, managed to become not only a wife but also a trusted advisor to her husband, earning respect not just within her kingdom but also beyond its borders. After William III's death in 1890, Emma became regent for her daughter, Queen Wilhelmina. During this period, she proved herself to be a skilled politician and diplomat, capable of governing the state with both firmness and flexibility. She stabilized the kingdom and laid the groundwork for the future prosperity of the Netherlands despite the challenges of the time. But beyond her state achievements, Emma left a notable mark on the cultural life of the country. One of the symbols of her era was the jewelry she wore with dignity, which became a part not only of her image but also of the national treasury. Among Emma's most renowned jewels was a tiara featuring roses and diamonds, crafted at the close of the 19th century. This masterpiece of jewelry was distinguished by its elegance and intricate craftsmanship, adorned with roses, symbols of love and nobility. The tiara became a symbol of female strength and authority, with its diamonds embodying purity and perfection. Commissioned by her husband, King William III, in 1890 from the Royal Begeer jeweler, it was designed specifically to complement the 12-pointed stars Emma received as a wedding gift from her new in-laws, the Van Weed family. The tiara was embellished with 5 diamond stars, with a 6th intended as a brooch. The creation of the tiara was completed shortly after the king's death, and it was first worn at his funeral. Initially, the tiara consisted of 3 large central sections intended to hold these stars permanently, but alterations later allowed the stars to be removable. Additionally, the option to replace the stones was introduced. Typically, only the central stone would be swapped with a ruby, but it is known that Queen Beatrix replaced all 3 diamonds with rubies. Despite being designed for the stars, Queen Emma rarely wore the star-studded version. Upon her death in 1934, her daughter, Queen Wilhelmina, inherited the tiara and wore it in its full version. Queen Beatrix began wearing the tiara from a young age, making it one of her favorite pieces. It was not only Queen Beatrix who frequently wore it. Princess Irene and Princess Margriet also donned the tiara, though less often than their sister. Emma's diamond tiara became a hallmark of the Queen's image. In 1984, Andy Warhol created a portrait of Queen Beatrix wearing the tiara, which is now housed in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. Although this beloved jewel is often worn by the Queen herself, she has also lent it to her daughters-in-law. Princess Laurentian wore it at the wedding of Crown Princess Victoria, and Princess Maxima sported it during a state visit to Qatar in 2011. Like other significant items in the Dutch royal collection, Queen Emma's tiara was acquired by the Orange-Nassau Family Foundation, established by Queen Juliana in the 1960s. This means the tiara is essentially crown property, owned by the reigning monarch and cannot be sold or gifted. Let us not overlook the Dutch sapphire tiara. This magnificent piece, adorned with 655 diamonds and 33 large Ceylon sapphires, was crafted by Maison van der Stickel in 1881. Possibly following a design by Oscar Massin from 1867. King William III paid Veit Israel's 100,000 Dutch guilders for the tiara and 2 matching bracelets, which completed a set that included an earlier sapphire and diamond necklace and a sapphire bow brooch. Queen Emma wore her sapphire tiara and the accompanying parure in numerous portraits during the 1880s and 1890s, including one taken during her regency, featuring a diamond chain as an accessory on her corsage. The tiara was notably worn by Queen Emma at the inauguration of her daughter, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands, in 1898, marking the end of her regency. Although she was not depicted wearing it in portraits, the tiara remained in Queen Emma's possession until her death, with its setting modified and some diamonds removed by Van Kempen, Begeer, and Voss in 1928. Upon Queen Emma's death in 1934, the sapphire tiara became part of the jewels inherited by her only granddaughter, then Crown Princess Juliana, who wore it in a series of portraits. Queen Juliana wore the sapphire tiara less frequently, and in the 1960s it was transferred to the Orange-Nassau Family Foundation. However, the Queen continued to wear it, and in 1981 a modified and smaller version of the sapphire tiara was provided to Princess Margriet. In 2013, the sapphire tiara was altered by court jeweler Steltman in The Hague, and this version was worn by Queen Maxima at the inauguration of King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands. 2 years later, Queen Maxima wore the original version of the tiara during a state visit to Denmark in 2015, complementing her inaugural gown. But Queen Emma's treasures extend beyond tiaras. Let's turn our attention to Queen Emma's diamond egret. When Princess Emma of Waldeck-Pyrmont married the elderly King William III of the Netherlands in 1879, she received several impressive wedding gifts, including this stunning diamond egret. Comprising 12 richly adorned diamond branches with small dangling claw-set diamonds at the tips, the egret sparkles as it moves in the light. The diamond egret was a wedding gift from King William III's sister, Princess Sophie, Grand Duchess of Saxe-Weimar-Eisenach. Queen Emma was photographed wearing the diamond egret only once, shortly after King William III's death in 1890, in a portrait taken with her mourning attire. It would be several decades before the egret appeared in public again, when her granddaughter, Queen Juliana, wore it as a brooch. During the 1980s or 1990s, Princess Margriet wore the diamond egret at a gala evening. After Queen Juliana's death, the egret resurfaced decades later, worn in her hair by then Crown Princess Maxima. Since then, Queen Maxima has worn the diamond egret several times as a brooch and will likely continue to enjoy it for years to come. Finally, let's admire the exquisite diamond stomach of Queen Emma. This piece was also among the impressive wedding gifts created by court jeweler Joseph Gita in a Neo-Grecian style. It features 214 diamond-cut diamonds and a 30-carat pale yellow central diamond, which can be worn separately as a pendant or brooch. Queen Emma was notably photographed wearing the diamond stomach at her daughter Queen Wilhelmina's wedding to Duke Henry of Mecklenburg-Schwerin in 1901 and later at Queen Wilhelmina's Silver Jubilee in 1926. After Queen Emma's death in 1934, the diamond stomach passed to Queen Wilhelmina, who wore it several times in the 1930s and 1940s. Following Queen Wilhelmina's abdication, the piece went to Queen Juliana, who began wearing it prominently at notable events. Although the diamond stomach was never publicly displayed on Queen Beatrix, the then Princess Maxima wore the central pendant for the first time at a dinner marking Queen Beatrix's abdication in 2013. Which of these exquisite pieces do you find most captivating? Share your thoughts in the comments.